What is up, guys? Captain Ron here with another video this week. Gonna talk about flat rate. It's been about 3 weeks or so since I've graduated college. Most of you guys know that. And 3 weeks ago, I went to flat rate. And I kind of wanted to go over some of the ups and downs after I've been in flat rate for a couple of weeks. So just an informational video for those of you guys who are going to be graduating college, those of you who are going into a job working flat rate. This is just going to be some insider information for you, just so you know what to expect. So stay tuned. Alright guys, so for those of you guys who don't know what flat rate is, say you're just getting into the industry or you're just going into a shop where you used to work at a shop that was hourly and now you're going to this new system called flat rate. I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. So basically flat rate service is you get paid per job. You get paid hourly on how long it takes you to do a certain task. So let's say, for example, you do an oil change. Oil change, when you were hourly, you took as long as you need to, and you got paid the same because you were hourly, and you made your 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, whatever it is. That changes when you go to flat rate. Flat rate on certain jobs, like an oil change, for example, it'll pay you 4/10. So you get paid 4/10 of an hour to do that oil change. Now, if you can do it a lot quicker, you still get that 4/10, but you've actually made money on that oil change because you were doing it quicker and more efficiently. So that's just an example of what flat rate is and what the system looks like. Now that I've done it for about 3 weeks, and I was hourly for several years, pretty much, because when I was in college, I wasn't considered a full-time employee. I was part-time, and I was actually a kind of a jack of all trades around here, doing pretty much whatever it was. Now, granted, I was still hourly, but I still looked at the system as a flat rate system. I still flagged all my hours. I still kept track of how many hours I was doing in a week and everything like that, just so that I knew when I got to the flat rate system exactly what I was going to be expecting. Even though I kept track of my hours, it wasn't what I was expecting. It was completely different. I find that being on flat rate is a lot more hectic, a lot more cutthroat, for lack of better terms, than what you would normally find on an hourly schedule. You kind of got to fight for the work. If you want a job, you got to be up there, ready to go, ready to say, yes, sir, I will take that and I will run with it. So that's the one thing that you got to watch out for when you're doing a flat rate system, is that you got to be there to be able to do the work. I'm not just saying show up for work and be here. I mean, you got to be aggressive. You got to be up there. You got to be consistently asking, hey, what do you got for me? What can I do next? What can I do? What can I have? Do you need something done? Do we have appointments coming here later today? There's a lot going on in the flat rate world that makes things a heck of a lot different than it did in an hourly world. One other thing that I found that was different is the fact that your weeks feel completely different. When you were hourly, you came in, you did your work, you left, and you knew you were getting paid for all that time. Now, granted, you might have been doing grunt work, like taking out trash, taking out tires, whatever it might have been, but you were still getting that 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, hourly paycheck every single week. So you weren't really feeling the rush of necessity to get things done. Now that I've been flat rate for a couple weeks, I start my week worried. To be honest, I start my week worried that I'm going to get a job that I'm going to get hung up on that is going to end up eating my entire, 1 or 2 days and just end up, messing me up for the rest of the week. I've had that happen a couple times already, actually. I've had vehicles that, you have to diagnose an electrical problem, you have to diagnose this intermittent issue, and it won't act up when you need it to act up. And you spend all this time diagnosing it, and you only get an hour, and sometimes it takes more than an hour. Or you have jobs where you're waiting on parts, and you're waiting and waiting and waiting, and they finally come, and you finally get the thing out of there, but you're not making any additional time on that. And it's just a vehicle just sitting there, taking up a bay. Like this bay right here, not the one the car's in, but the one that's actually open now. I had a Jeep Wrangler sitting in it for 2 weeks, waiting on parts, because every time I touched something was breaking on it. So that's another thing, is that you've got to be able to manage not only your time, but manage your space. Your space, your workspace is super important to you, because if you've got a car sitting in a work spot and it's doing nothing, it's making you nothing, because you can't pull anything into that spot. So knowing when you need to pull a vehicle outside, knowing when you need to say, hey, I can't do any of this until we get all the parts, that is something that you also got to keep in mind. Because you don't want that spot taken up, because that spot is essentially money sitting there waiting to be made. And if you got something sitting there that's waiting on parts, you're not making any money. The other thing you have to keep in mind is not only with the vehicles that you have that are sitting and not making you money, but you also got to look kind of into the future as well. Like, for example, I've got this Nissan back here. I'm doing a transmission in it, and it's almost done. But I've been working on that thing for a couple of days, and that's all I've been working on. Now, granted, I may be working on this, and this isn't doing anything, not making me any money right now, but when it gets done, this is going to be a nice chunk of hours for me to log into my sheet. Because I'll tell you guys straight up right now, first couple weeks that I went through flat rate, first week was like 35 hours, something like that. Second week was like 40.6. Third week, I think I was shooting 41. So I've steadily increased my hourly productivity every single week, which is good. This week, we're shooting on a Thursday, and I'm sitting at like 20 hours, barely. Now, granted, like I said, this one right here is going to put me back up where I need to be, but it's hard to keep that mindset of I'm going to be okay for the week when you're sitting at the end of the week and now it's like, oh, I've still got a ton of hours to make up, but yet I've still got vehicles sitting on my bays that are going to be payoffs to get me in the right spot. So there's a little bit of mind trickery, so to speak, to wrap your head around whenever you do flat rate. It may look grim, it may look bleak, when you get to the middle of the week, when you get to Wednesday and you don't have all the hours, but you got to look ahead. You got to be proactive of staying on top of the schedule, staying on top of what's coming in, and prioritizing jobs that will help you get the money and get the hours that you need. So one tidbit of advice that I can give for people going into flat rate is going to be, make sure you keep track of every single hour that you do. Every single hour you turn, make sure you keep track of it. Whether you're writing it down on a piece of paper, whether you're doing a form like this that will actually dump all your time into a spreadsheet. You guys have seen that over on Rust Belt's channel, and I'm going to also make a video on that sometime here in the future, just as a refresher for not only the people who don't subscribe for Rust Belt, but for those of you who forgot or want to see it on my channel as well. I'll make a video on how to make that form, so make sure you look out for that. But like I said, make sure you are tracking every little hour that you guys are doing, whether it be diag, whether it be oil changes, whether it be tire replacements, doesn't matter. All of that is time that goes towards your week. So you want to make sure that you are taking the precaution of making sure that you've got all the hours that you need. And when you get to the end of the week, double check them. And that way on Monday, when they come back out with the flag sheets, you can go through your list and be like, yep, I've got that one, that one, that one. Oh, I'm missing this one. This one's got incorrect time. You can go back through, talk with your service writer or service manager, and you can get that stuff fixed so you can get paid for the work that you do. Well, guys, that's going to do it for today. This is just a little short and sweet video to let you guys know, for those of you who are following me that are still going through the college process of going into flat rate and everything, this is just to let you guys know what to look forward to if you don't already know about it already. So I hope this has been informational. I hope you guys learned something from this, and if you have any questions about it, feel free to hit me up, leave me a comment down below, and ask me any questions that you guys want to know. I'll be more than happy to answer you guys, or shoot me an email. Email address is down in the description. You guys can shoot me an email anytime. Let me know what you guys think. And if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Just passed the 800 mark on my subscribers, so thank you guys very much for getting me past that mark. Only got 200 more people to go, and then we'll hit that 1,000 goal. So if you guys like my videos, make sure you like, make sure you comment, so hit that subscription and bell notification down in the bottom. That way you guys know when I come out with videos, and share them with your friends. I'm a nice guy. I don't bite. Come on. Get me out there. Let your automotive friends know about me. Just tell them to come by, say hi, whatever they want to do. So make sure you guys follow me at the CPTN Ron over on Instagram, so that way you guys keep track of me and what I do from day to day. But until then, Captain Ron signing off, and we'll see you next time.